The Jewish community owes a debt of gratitude to many contemporary Zionist lionesses. A term I didn't coin. I'm aware of it from a friend of my sister's, who I'm going to talk about in another video. Three I'd like to highlight here and acknowledge, and they are variously produced or featured in the documentary film October 8, which is about the aftermath of October 7, 2023, and the anti-Semitism in America that has escalated since then, notably on U.S. college campuses where Jewish students have been harassed to no end, threatened, intimidated, and discriminated against. And Wendy Sachs and actress Debra Messing decided to do this film, and they were met with resistance all along the way. There were powers that be in Hollywood, notably among the Jewish community, who just were unwilling to touch the film. And to their great credit, they proceeded with the film. It's an outstanding film. If you haven't seen it, you are certainly encouraged to go see it. And it should be available on, I think there are 2 different streaming networks right now. And Debra Messing in particular proceeded at personal peril with regard to her career, since she is dependent on Hollywood. And the film features a number of very influential students who stood up on behalf of Jewish students all across the country and on their campuses. One of those who is featured is a young woman named Tessa Veksler. And Tessa her family came from Ukraine. She has an older brother, quite a bit older, who fled Ukraine with his parents, and he was raised essentially without observing the religion because his parents, having experienced anti-Semitism in Ukraine, wanted to spare him from that. Yet Tesla decided to become very observant and very outspoken regarding her Judaism, and she enrolled at the University of California at Santa Barbara, where she was elected president of the student union, or the student body. And she, after October 7, faced all kinds of ridicule and personal attacks by other students. And eventually she faced a vote where they tried to remove her as president, and rather than meekly withdraw, she stood very firmly up to the anti-Semitism, and in a narrow vote retained the presidency. Very courageous. And I would just, for all of you older adults, I would just cause you to think of the courage that it takes as a mature person to stand up to adversaries, and to then put yourself in the position of a person who's only 21, 22 years old and a college student, to stand up to the kind of opposition that she did. Tremendously courageous woman. And the remarkable thing about all 3 of these women, and I've listened to interviews not just from the film, but read things and seen other interviews on video, none of them espouses any hatred, any vitriol. They're proud of their Judaism, and they just simply refuse to kowtow to intimidation and anti-Semitism. And with great dignity and without vitriol, without personal attack, stood firmly for themselves and Jews everywhere. And so hats off to all 3 of these fine women.